On this edition of Campus Report, we take a closer look at what one car dealership is doing to help consumers in a tough financial time.
And does a water park in the middle of the desert sound strange to you? Brian Montaño fills us in on a soon-to-open hotel oasis.
All this and more on a new edition of Campus Report.
Local coverage. Student perspectives. At the University of New Mexico, from the KNME studios, this is Campus Report.
Hi, I'm Robyn Chavez.
And I'm LaJeunesse. While the three big automakers turn to a government bailout, Hyundai Motors is counting on the consumer to help bail them out. Martinez reports on how the automaker's new buyer assurance program is easing the minds of its customers.
During these tough economic times, everyone has cut back on their spending.
We've already started tightening our belts 6-8 months ago, a year ago, watching what we do, where we go.
Car dealerships are no exception to the recession, as they've also felt the pinch of cash. The big three car makers turn to the government to bail them out. But imagine a car company that's got your back. That's exactly what Hyundai Motors says it's doing by adding on to what they call is already America's best warranty.
If you come in and buy a Hyundai, you don't need to be worried in case something happens in the next year, before the economy turns around. If it does, you can just bring the vehicle back and drop it off and they'll take care of it.
If you lose your job involuntarily, lose a family member, or are even shipped overseas for the military, Hyundai will take the vehicle back and drop the payments, leaving your credit score unchanged.
If you lose your income, we've got your back. We'll bail you out.
While some may call this another car sales gimmick, Hornbeck says it's providing relief for buyers in an unstable market, a commitment that Smith says will keep customers coming through their doors.
Those are the kind of things that keep people coming back to you, is that service.
The only catch? You have to provide proof of your employment loss or any of the other criteria. The program also only applies to new cars for the first year of ownership, regardless of where the economy goes.
It's probably one of the most trepidatious times in history to come out of college to get a job, because it's these white-collar, college-educated type of jobs that are being lost right now. And so if ever there was a time when you'd want to see a program like this, it's now.
This is Dan Martinez reporting.
With most of New Mexico suffering from drought-like conditions, Ryan Montaño reports on how one Albuquerque hotel found a way to balance fun with safeguarding our most precious resource.
Water. It is the single most important resource to not only a desert like New Mexico, but for people all over the world. The Radisson Hotel, located near Carlisle and I-40, is building an all-new indoor water park, the first of its kind. Despite usage concerns, the park is utilizing efforts to make sure that water loss is as low as possible. Radisson Aquatics Director Michael Anaya says that the amount of water the park will retain will help ease usage concerns.
Once we actually fill everything up, we reclaim probably 90% or more of that water. We don't lose a whole lot of water in the process. We have troughs that catch, the spillover water, so everything gets reused. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of water loss. So, the biggest impact is going to be filling the thing, and then, there's just very little water loss that we'll have to deal with.
According to Water Utility Authority Conservation Manager Catherine Uhas, the park's high retention rate will put their water usage on the same level as that of many local businesses.
So they're planning to use about 10,000 to 12,000 gallons of water per day. That isn't really an excessive amount of water. Certainly a grocery store is probably using more than 10,000 gallons per day. Now if we're talking about a restaurant, they also might use 10,000 gallons per day in terms of washing the dishes and disinfecting everything. An average household around here uses about 250, 300 gallons per day.
In addition to the high water retention rate, the design of the building in which the water park will be built will also provide additional water conservation measures.
You have so many other factors in an outdoor park. You have wind, the sun, different things, and people splashing around in an outdoor park. You have water that's sitting on the decks that evaporate more. Because ours is enclosed, we'll be able to control our temperature a lot better, and we just don't have that evaporation issue from the sun.
While keeping the park indoors prevents extreme evaporation, Uhas says that the park's water treatment system will also provide more means of conservation.
Just by placing it indoors, you're saving an enormous amount. You don't have the sun beating down on the water all day long, evaporating it. But another aspect of it is the recycling. And if you can have a treatment system that allows you to recirculate the water throughout the park, well, then you don't have to fill it up every day.
Scheduled to open in the spring, New Mexicans will enjoy safe and water-efficient days at the park. This is Ryan Montaño reporting.
With the new year underway, there's a big change in store for the hundreds of hungry students who live on campus. Starting this spring, UNM's La Posada cafeteria will be run by a new vendor with a brand new menu. Elisha Crow has more.
Hundreds of students walk through these double doors every day to eat, recharge, and visit with their classmates. But this fall, students had a big change awaiting them when they picked up their food tray. At the start of the semester, UNM Cafeteria changed food vendors. Chartwell's, a company that says it provides healthy choices for the students, is the new caterer for the cafeteria. Such a big change raises questions and concerns about student satisfaction. What are the students saying? Have they been allowed more access to a healthier variety of foods?
It's convenient, and it's just right here. That's, if you're hungry and you don't really feel like getting dressed, you can just go in and get a to-go thing. I really like that about Lapo. Food selection is pretty cool. If you want Italian, if you want burgers, if you want French fries.
Such a large change in food vendors requires a step up in management. But how is this huge task accomplished?
I think that we've raised the bar a little bit on our offerings to the students. We're constantly working on the menus. It was a huge undertaking when we did the menus to do 5 weeks, and we did make some mistakes. And those are mistakes that you don't see until you actually cook the food and you walk up the aisle and you say, "Well, we have a red day today," and you go back and you edit and make some changes.
But what healthy options are there for the students to enjoy? Fresh fruits, veggies, organics.
Choices, vegetarian choices, baked foods, fresher food like the muffins. It seems like it's always so out there,
For now, it seems the students are happy with the switch of food vendors. However, change is never an easy part of a student's life, especially when it deals with their eating habits. This is Elisha Crow.
That should make plenty of students happy. Right now, Elijah's here to tell us a little bit more. Thanks for joining us, Elisha.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me, what was the most interesting thing that you found at La Posada? The biggest change?
Well, I think the biggest change is just the offerings to the students. They really totally just revamped the whole menu. They've kind of gotten away from diner food and kind of home comfort food to maybe step out in the international scene. I know they offer tacos, and they're doing a lot of stir fry this semester, and they offer kind of a sandwich bar and a lot more fresher fruits, more organics, a lot more of a bigger selection as far as salad.
So no more comfort food, because comfort
so
food
much.
at college kind of makes sense.
Well, I think as soon as they're not getting food from mom's kitchen, it becomes very uncomfortable. So, just getting into the cafeteria is an experience in its own, and so it's new for either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the international bar. What are some of the best things that it's able to give?
Myself, I had the Mediterranean chicken, which had Kalamata olives and Roma tomatoes and chicken. And it was very tasty. I know a lot of the students enjoy the tofu menu items that they have. A lot of them enjoy the Greek pita kind of.
Do you think that more kids have started to go to the international bar just to experience things that they hadn't before? Do you think it's opened that door for a lot of people?
I think it's offered a lot more for the vegans on campus, because a lot of the international stuff that they're putting out is vegetarian and doesn't use much meat or anything like that. So it's very good selection.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the management.
Well, it's a company, Chartwell's, they're based out of England, and I believe they export their jobs to managers and directors in the United States through college campuses. And the director, Donna Summers, was who I met with. She was the general manager for Chartwell's here at the university, and she's been at it for, this will be her first semester. So
I see.
Yeah.
And other mention-worthy things are the green scene?
Well, they kind of are going trayless, meaning they don't really give trays as an option for the students Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You just go in there with your plates and your forks and get your food, and you can go back as many times as you'd like. But I think that's an initiative, and they try to just cut down on the waste as much as possible.
Great, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Elisha, for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
It took new Lobo head football coach Mike Loxley a while, but now he's finally got a new coaching staff. As Devon Armijo reports, this staff may be worth the wait.
44 days after Mike Loxley was named the king of Loboland, he introduced his knights in court, and these coaches certainly represent the royalty of college football. It was unclear who would coach alongside the rookie head coach, but now it's all come into focus. Recently, Loxley announced his coaching staff, which includes 5 men who have either played in or won national title games at the collegiate level. The Lobo coach says simply, he's hit a home run.
Represent that. They're all great leaders. They're all great teachers. They're all men of character. And when I set out to put together a staff, it was probably the most important thing that I did was to bring in a group of guys that could help me sell the vision I have for Lobo football. And to a man, I think I've brought in the best staff in the country.
The big-time coaches who will have big-time impacts are the coordinators, offensive mastermind Daryl Dickey and defensive stonewaller Doug Mallory. Dickey joins the Cherry and Silver after a 2-year stint leading the offense of Utah State. He says his new offensive game plan will light up the scoreboard while attracting fans to the seats.
It's a very exciting offense for the kids to play in and for the fans to see. But we do want to be as effective running it as we are throwing it, because one-dimensional teams these days, all you can do is run and you can't throw real well, or all you can do is throw and you can't run real well. They're a lot easier to defend, so we want to make it difficult for the defense in that they've got to be able to stop both.
The Lobos of old used speed and a constant flow of blitzes to frustrate offenses, but Mallory's D will use a steady flow of big men to wear down the competition, although he says there's a similar concept in both defenses.
We're going to be aggressive. We're going to come after offenses. Everything we're going to try to do is make the offense one-dimensional, but we're going to attack, we're going to be physical, we're going to be aggressive.
Loxley's top hires extend farther than the coordinators. His staff boasts other top names like former Tennessee quarterback T. Martin, who will come in and coach the quarterbacks. The Lobos are still in a recruiting mode now. Loxley and his staff will continue to scour the nation for more Lobos before shifting focus to serious football. Only time will tell if these skilled coaches will lead the Lobos back to bowl game success. Reporting from Loxley's Lobo Kingdom in Albuquerque, this is Devon Armijo.
Wow, you can really feel the heat brewing around the New Mexico Lobos football team this season.
You are right. Hopefully they can pull out some wins.
Me too. Well, I hope so too. Well, until next time, for Julie LaJeunesse, I'm Robyn Chavez.